we'd been traveling for almost 24 hours. You know, that bleary eyed, kind of tired, where you don't even know what day it is anymore. The cabin lights were dim, everyone else was asleep, and I was just settling into a movie when my husband leaned over and whispered, "Can't find my glasses." And that's how our long flight home turned into a scavenger hunt at 35,000 feet. We looked everywhere, under the seat, behind the seat, inside the seat pocket. At one point, I even checked to make sure I wasn't sitting on them, because when you're that tired, anything seems possible. My husband bent and twisted himself into shapes that I am sure weren't FAA approved. Finally, he spotted a pair of glasses that were wedged under the seat in front of him. Victory! Except they had bright purple frames. Now, my husband's not into bright purple, and those were not his glasses. And at this point, I'm laughing quietly because what else can you do? My husband's just about given up, so he's still squinting at the screen and getting a headache and telling me about his headache. And when he finally does what he probably should have done 40 minutes earlier, he calls the flight attendant. And we move out of our seats so that the flight attendant can have a look. And 2 minutes later, the flight attendant stops being a human pretzel and he triumphantly emerges from the deep, dark crevice that was next to my husband's seat, holding my husband's actual glasses. They'd gotten stuck between his seat and the wall of the plane, exactly where he couldn't reach and he couldn't really see. And I just sat there thinking, this is business in a nutshell. How many times do we do this? You know, we struggle, we overthink, we search in all the wrong places because we feel like we have to solve everything on our own. But sometimes the fastest path forward is to stop guessing and ask someone who already knows where to look. And that's what I learned from that flight attendant. It's not about doing more. It's about doing the right small thing. Because in business, that might mean asking for advice before you burn another week trying to figure it out. Or it might mean starting smaller. One offer, one quiz, one message, instead of handling the big things straight away. Because the real clarity comes when you stop searching blindly and you start asking intentionally. So here's my question for you. What's one thing that you've been trying to figure out alone that you could just ask for help with this week? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear. And if this story resonated, subscribe. I share real, simple lessons like this every week.